Hi again, health class. Welcome back. I hope you're doing great. Today I'm going to describe your next assignment for you. It's called the identity collage. We're getting into this idea of who are you? And I mentioned in the post from Wednesday of why this is so important. We consider this a protective factor for maintaining our well-being in all of the other three areas of health. Something like this. I have a few examples below and I'll describe those to you. But before we get into those, a collage is a mashup. It's a mixture of a variety of photos. So you're going to create a digital collage on just one Google slide. So this is not a slideshow. One slide of school appropriate images that represent the four aspects of your identity. What are these aspects? They are your physical, active, social, and psychological aspects. I'd like you to find a description of these on page 100 of the health textbook because some of them are a little bit misleading. Like, for example, the physical aspect of your identity. I have my book right here. The physical aspect is actually your gender identity, your race, your age, your physical characteristics such as your height, your weight, and your hair color. The active part of your identity is your engagement in particular activities and interests, such as sports, music, and community service. So it doesn't necessarily mean physical activity. I kind of think of it like how you spend your time. So it could be doing community service. It doesn't have to be a sport, that active part of your identity. So I'll have you read about each of those on page 100. That actually was a part of your reading from yesterday's assignment. This word right here is psychological. I want you to spell that correctly when you get to your collage. So there's physical, and then there's the psychological aspects. You are going to include at least 2 images per identity aspect. So you're going to grab school appropriate images, at least 2, to represent each of these identity aspects. And you are going to label each aspect. So again, physical. So these are my 2 pictures that go with physical. Active, these are my 2 images that go with my active part of my identity. My psychological aspects, psychological aspect, I have 2 images, and then my social aspect, I have 2 images there. All right, let's see, 2 images per identity aspect, and then we're going to include those 5 personality traits in text boxes. That's how you're going to put in your image aspect labels as well. But the 5 personality traits that you picked out and submitted to me, feel free to include more. Feel free to switch them up, that you turned into me for your assignment on Wednesday. So the 5 personality traits that I chose for myself are adventurous, thoughtful, empathetic. That means that I am able to imagine what it's like for someone else to go through something because maybe I went through it too. That's what empathy is. Independent and loyal. You're also going to include a written explanation of why you chose each photo. What does it represent to you? So that's actually on a different slide. That's not part of the collage. That is going to be all the way at the end. Here, collage explanation. Notice collage, that's a different word from college. A collage is a combination of images that can really be arranged in any way. So the sky's the limit within this Google slide. So these were a couple of student examples from this year. So this person has their 4 identity aspects. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 personality traits all mixed up. This student kind of did it in a different way. They switched them at angles. They chose their background. So this identity collage should reflect you. I'll describe why I chose the images that I did. So in the physical identity aspect, I chose a woman. I actually think this one's kind of funny. She's a woman in the Middle Ages because I'm like a middle-aged woman now all of a sudden. So this person represents someone of my age, but I'm kind of like doing a play on words. I chose this image of healthy foods because that's something important to the physical aspect of my identity, caring for my physical body. For the active aspect of my identity, I did happen to choose moving active things, but remember that that part of your identity, let's think of it more so how we enjoy spending time. So I have an image of, this is a big yoga class. So this is a particular yoga that I like to do where that is hot, so hot that people wear like shorts and maybe even the guys would not even wear a shirt. It's like over 100 degrees Fahrenheit in there and everyone's dripping in sweat. I love it. You feel amazing afterwards. Another way that I like to spend time is being in nature, like I mentioned. Moving down into the psychological aspect of the identity, here I'm getting a little bit more symbolic. So I chose images of the ocean, like a tumultuous and stormy ocean. Sometimes in my mind, I don't feel at ease, but other times I do. So I chose a calm ocean. And then over here in the social aspect of my identity, I chose this family dinner to show how family is very important to me and gathering. But then over here, I chose these images of clocks because I don't have a lot of extra time in my normal life. I don't have a lot of extra time to join together with my peers. Even though that the social part of my identity is important, the time is an issue. So you would put an explanation like that into written words when you drop down to this part of the collage. In our regular class, we would have just explained this in small groups to each other, but I am going to ask you to describe here why you chose each of your photos for the identity collage. Feel free to use bullets, write it in a paragraph format, your choice. And then I have 3 reflection questions for you. So you can just type right in here. And this is the rubric that I'll be using to grade your assignment. It's worth 20 points. Where does your identity collage go in this slideshow? Remember, it's just a collage on one slide. You can put it anywhere. Maybe you will go right after here, right after the title slide. I'm going to have you go to slide and new slide. New slide. And then you would start adding in your photos and change your background to reflect your identity. I look forward to seeing these. Have fun.